headlines, Kaduna Security Council denies reviewing 24-hour curfew. Fuel queues resurface as Nigerians groan over impact of hunger protests on livelihoods. Amid leadership criticism, Gombe youth consider lawmakers' recall as a solution. On the foreign scene, Niger Republic cuts ties with Ukraine over support for terrorists. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you for joining us, and now the news in detail. The Kaduna State Security Council says it has not reviewed the 24-hour curfew imposed on Kaduna and Zaria towns and their environs. A statement from the State Commissioner, Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aaron, says the 24-hour curfew remains in place and is being actively enforced by security agencies, contrary to insinuations that it has been reviewed. The statement enjoined citizens to observe the curfew strictly and shun rumors or unverified reports. Earlier, we spoke to Trust TV's Bello Musa, and he gives us an update on the development.
Well, the curfew is still in place as the security operatives are going around the metropolis. Every nook and cranny of the metropolis, you will see security operatives to ensure compliance. The streets in Kaduna are still deserted. Only few vehicles are allowed to move around. Like that is the essential workers, like journalists, health workers, and the rest. So Kaduna is calm with the security agencies on ground containing the situation.
Bello, but then there were reports of gunfire in the vicinity of the government house earlier today. What can you tell us about that?
Well, what actually happened that there was gunshots at Badiko, which is close to the government, and also on Gunsunusi, close to the government house. But the actual events happened around Kurmimashi, along bypass, where some youths have started regrouping themselves to cause mayhem. But the police responded to the situation and also contained the situation. And according to some of the residents at the area, the police made arrests at the scene. And also at Rigasa, which is considered to be one of the flash areas in Kaduna, there was a heavy gunshot in the morning. But this as a result of some of the youths who tried to defy the curfew, but the level of the security on ground were able to contain the situation.
Now, thank you so much, Bello Musa. How are the residents coping with the curfew, especially when it comes to food supplies?
Definitely, the resident, the situation is biting hard on them because most of the people have to go out daily to fend for their families, but now they are forced to remain at home and coping with the cost of living now. Besides, markets are still closed, so there are no supplies of foodstuffs to local area, except some small shops at the local area where people can go and buy maybe foodstuff or provisions.
But in Plateau State, the state governor, Caleb Mutfwang, has reviewed the 24-hour curfew imposed in Jos Bukuru metropolis since Monday. The 24-hour curfew, which took effect from Monday, 2nd August 2024, has now been relaxed to commence from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. with effect from Wednesday, 6th August 2024. The statement announcing the curfew was signed by Director of Press and Public Affairs to the governor, Gang Berry. The statement said the decision was made following the improvement in security situation within the Jos Bukuru metropolis. He said the government ordered the relaxation after consultation with the security agencies. Earlier, we spoke to the Plateau State Commissioner of Information, Ashoms Musa, and he gives us an update of the situation in the state.
First of all, we'd like to say demonstrations on the Plateau were peacefully done, except when some miscreants on Sunday around 4 or 5 p.m. started forcing people to close their shops and join them the next day. And when we saw those early warning signals and relying on intelligence from security agencies, government decided to impose a curfew on Jos Bukuru metropolis. And even while the curfew was still in place, certain miscreants took to the streets and wanted to loot people's shops and all of that. And government didn't take that with levity. Security agencies clamped down on some of them, and some of them were arrested and have been arraigned before the magistrate court here in Jos. So as a government, we place premium on the security and welfare of our citizens, and we had hailed the peaceful disposition of the protest as far as Plateau State was concerned. A lot of people were even given positive examples with what was happening here on the Plateau until these miscreants took to the streets, and if we had not imposed this curfew, we would have known the level of damage they would have done to property, and of course, maybe they would have taken people's lives. So a lot of people have called to say they are happy with the curfew that was imposed, in as much as it brought some hardship to a lot of patriotic citizens. And the surprising thing about this demonstration is that it took a turn that people started waving and hoisting flags that are alien to that of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you read the new national anthem, you hear where we talk about our flag being a symbol. And we don't know where they got this orientation from. It was a dangerous one, and we thank God that Plateau State has not caught them fire, because we've had wonderful moments here as far as this state is concerned. I will want to maintain such moments. So the governor, relying on intelligence from the security heads here on the Plateau, decided to declare a. And yesterday we had the stakeholders parley, where critical stakeholders in these communities were called upon, despite the curfew imposed on the city, to look at how the curfew can be relaxed or lifted. And from intelligence that we've gathered, we realized that we can only open up for a while, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
So that certain cartels, certain rascals cannot unleash mayhem on our citizens.
Okay.
So the securities are going to keep vigilance. Of course, government is going to get intelligence from them. When they advise us that the situation has taken a better shape, we'll relax it further or even lift it entirely.
All right, then. You talked about stakeholders parley, and now this brings me to my next line of question. I'd like to know, is the state government opening communication channels with protest organizers?
When they came, it is their right. If you check Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, you realize that peaceful assembly and association is the right of our citizens. And we didn't say nothing. The place where this the peaceful protest took place, the old airport roundabout, is not very far from the seat of power. And nobody disturbed them. They were given security shield, security cover, until these rascals took up to the streets with dangerous ammunitions, that we had these issues. As a government, our communication channels are always open. We do not gag our people from accessing information. When there are issues, we engage stakeholders, we talk to the traditional authority, we speak to the religious bodies, we speak to our youths and our women and all stakeholders and shareholders in the peace atmosphere of Plateau State. This is a government that talks to the people all the time. We've always had this open door policy that we operate, where we engage our people. When we have interventions from the federal government, we tell our people. When we have challenges, we interface with our people. When buildings collapse, we form committees to address future occurrence. So we are a government that our communication channel is very, very open. You called me like 30 or 1 hour ago, until now we're talking already. So we're not scared of talking to our people because they give us the mandate. So once people give you a mandate, you owe them a responsibility of telling them what the mandate is harvesting.
The Borno State Commissioner of Information and Internal Security has appealed to Nigerians to maintain peace as the government continues efforts to cushion the hardships and hunger crisis experienced across the country. He stated this during a security tour around the Maiduguri metropolis to engage with paramilitary comprising the Civilian Joint Task Force, hunters and vigilantes. He said the tour became necessary to ensure the metropolis is safe from looting, vandalism and other criminal activities and to maintain the peace enjoyed in the state after the hunger demonstrations. The Information and Internal Security Commissioner said the state governor is committed to ensure that the people of Borno benefits from the dividends of democracy through its intervention programs of agriculture, education, empowerment, health, among others.
So far, so good. I have spoken to their leadership. I have also spoken to the rank and file to make sure that they operate within the boundaries of the law established in the civilian JTF, not taking the law into their own hands. If they see any criminal element or suspicious crime, they should, hand over to the constituted authorities, federal authorities. Normalcy has returned. Please go about your normal businesses. If you see or hear any suspicious criminal activity or criminal hideouts, please report to the relevant agencies.
Fuel queues have reappeared in Abuja and several states following days of nationwide protests. Oil marketers have attributed the resurgence of these queues to the disruption in the supply chain of petroleum products. Dealers concerned about potential losses due to the ongoing hunger protests halted their operations. Our correspondent Neil Sampson took to the streets of Abuja to speak with residents about the fuel situation and its impact on their daily lives. His report.
Have returned to the capital city, leading to long waiting times and frustration among motorists. Residents of the Federal Capital Territory have been struggling to purchase fuel, as many filling stations either remain closed or have limited supplies. Many states in Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, experienced varying degrees of fuel queues about 2 weeks ago. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited attributed this to a hinge in the discharge operations of a couple of vessels. A stroll through the major streets reveals that most filling stations are closed and the ones open have long queues. Residents of the FCT have expressed their reactions to the situation in their respective locations and how it has affected their daily lives.
First, scarcity has been terrifying, has seriously been impeding on our businesses. For me, as a business person, this is man hours. This is hours that's supposed to be productive hours in the office, but I have to come and queue up because I don't know, I'm not able to go around different sites where I do my management practice. So it is really a setback. Other people can't go to work in good time. It's really a setback and affecting everyone. We are so disappointed.
Let our refineries work. You understand? Just capitalize on one. Good a thing, Dangote is on board. Any way you guys can partner and get Nigerians to get fuel. There's a circular that was on internet recently where you see countries with their population and the number of refineries shamefully. Nigeria doesn't even have one working refinery. And it's a big mess for the country.
And imagine that I'm coming from airport, Lube Federal Housing. I've passed how many filling stations? None of them is selling, and that's why I had to. As I saw this one, that they're about. I was looking out from far away to see if I can see any sign of this thing here, any sign of queue, and that's why I just bashed into it. I'm supposed to be in the office by now. Since yesterday, I've been looking for fuel. Go down even to this, what do they call, police signpost. All the filling stations there, since yesterday, they are not selling.
We are facing it. Life is all about challenges, and we have to face the challenges. And this is our cross at the moment. As in Nigeria, we need to bear it for the betterment of our future. We pray for the president, and God will give him wisdom to do more, and let it consider us in his best way.
As tensions continue to simmer across the country, with the uncertainty looming over economic activities, residents of Abuja and other affected states are hoping for a quick resolution to both the supply issues and the underlying causes of the unrest. For now, the residents of the Federal Capital Territory can only wait and hope that the fuel supply is restored soon. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Some residents of Lagos State have been reacting to the ongoing End Bad Governance protest, saying it has added no value to the growth of the nation's economy. Victoria Tokolo, who spoke with some of them on the effect of protest in the country's economy, reports that many are of the view that the protest has worsened the economy. Her report is presented from our studio.
Nigeria has witnessed numerous demonstrations in the past, with citizens demanding good governance, human rights, and improved living conditions. From the EndSARS movement to economic protests, these demonstrations have had significant effects on the country's economy. Some commercial drivers in Lagos said the transportation sector is one of the most badly hit in the country.
In this our Nigeria, economics is running down finally totally, but this protesting is nothing, is doing nothing in this economic issue. If we don't protest, we need some certain things we can do to make the Nigerian day peacefully. The economy of the nation, because even before the protest, the leaders know exactly what the result is going to be. So it's just as if we are just acting drama. It's just like Nollywood. It doesn't threaten them, doesn't move them. So their own is just let them do whatever they want to do. When they are tired, they continue with what I was doing. So me, I don't support any kind of protest.
This sentiment is re-echoed by other residents of Lagos who are not comfortable with the impact of the protest on the nation.
The protest of Nigeria now is no good because everything will be high again. But that is why only thing I do shut down. That protest is no good. Now protest don't happen again, sir. It will spoil everything for Nigeria.
No government. We have no president in this nation because number one, what is happening due to the protest? Days when there is protest, things normally reduce and everybody will become comfortable. But right now, the protest that is going on, there is no change of, there is protest anywhere.
Having any value, rather destruction. But I thank God for one thing, it's a peaceful protest. Which we Lagosian, we share it and we love it and we thank God. There is no crisis anywhere.
Protests in Nigeria have negatively impacted the nation's economy, resulting in the loss of lives and properties. However, Lagos residents are urging the federal government to address the demands of the protesters in order to halt further loss of lives and properties.
Moving on to more stories. Gombe youth have suggested the recall process as the best option to end bad governance in the country. The youth, who described the recent hunger protest as a failed attempt to end bad governance, accused lawmakers of negligence in looking into their real grievances. The youth are saying recalling failed lawmakers is their next option. Hassan Koli has more.
The youth said that the bad governance and hardship inflicted by the government policies are responsible for the decision to halt a nationwide protest. They, however, believe that the protest alone is not the only option to end bad governance. They single out National Assembly as an institution that have failed in its responsibility to the people.
The best solution to solve this problem is not protest or going on the street, rather than recall. We call it callback. We have various polling units, various ward, which voters will go back to their ward and register their name with their identity that we want so person to be back. We want to send another person to represent us. That is callback. I think it will be the best solution for this problem.
But if you find a good person, educated person, very wise person, he may go there and he will discuss on whatever it is happening in his community. They will not get I'm here for money. No, he will discuss on real reason what is happening in their community. And this calling process, I'm trying to advise my youth and try to advise my colleagues. Don't come out and raise your voice on the streets. Go and discuss in your community. Go and discuss with your forefathers. Call your members of your community. Call their youth. Go and discuss. Recalling process is very important. Recalling process is very important where we discuss a lot of things. If a representative, he may know this recalling process, he will not go there and sit down and only when you look at it in the House of Assembly before his hand and look at the other reps.
For political scientists, despite being nearly impossible to achieve, recalling is indeed a strong move to correct bad representation.
The biggest enemy in the recall is the Constitution of 1999 because it made the process very difficult. Why? Because there is an allegation that the 1999 Constitution is an elite constitution designed to protect the elite, not the electorate. So that is why recall is very, very difficult to achieve, but it's possible. And I'm not discouraging the youth. They should try it. But they should not be disappointed at the end of it if they are unable to succeed because of the cumbersome nature of recall. But I have a suggestion here. The suggestion is the youth should concentrate on total revolution, total electoral revolution. What I mean is they should concentrate on achieving a total change of the representative and the infrastructure of government through election when it comes to 2027 general election.
Nigerians are calling for an end to bad governance, with many attributing the current hardship to the government's unfriendly policies and negligence. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Kyari, has said the oil firm has nothing to do with the substandard importation of products into the country. He stated this in his remarks on Wednesday while appearing before a Senate ad hoc committee over an alleged economic sabotage in the Nigeria petroleum industry. The committee is being led by the chairman and leader of the Senate, Okpeyemi Bamidele. Kyari also averred that he, as the CEO, as well as the NNPCL, had faced undue media attacks from persons doing everything to create the impression that NNPCL is sabotaging the nation's economy. He appealed that the committee sessions be televised live going forward. The development follows recent controversies trailing the company and its operations. We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Niger Republic said Tuesday it was cutting diplomatic ties with Ukraine with immediate effect, accusing Kyiv of supporting terrorist groups 2 days after Mali took a similar step. The decisions to break relations with Ukraine come in the wake of heavy losses suffered by the Malian army in late July at the hands of terrorists and separatist forces, which they blamed in part on Ukraine. Government spokesman Amadou Abdurrahman said in a televised statement, Niger said it would ask the UN Security Council to debate Ukraine's aggression. Niger and Mali are both run by military governments that took power in recent coups, went on to rip up defense agreements with France and turned to Russia for military help. Several soldiers from Russia's Wagner paramilitary group were reportedly killed alongside Malian soldiers during July's debacle in the north of the country. And finally, in sports news, world record holder Tobi Amusan qualified for the 100-meter hurdles semi-finals in the ongoing 2024 Olympics in Paris on Wednesday. Amusan led the pack of 8 athletes with 12.49 seconds, followed by America's Alicia Johnson with 12.61 seconds, and Jamaica's Janique Brown qualified with 12.84 seconds. The semi-finals will be held on Friday, August 9, while the final is slated for the penultimate day of the athletics event, Saturday, August 10. This is Amusan's third consecutive Olympic Games. And on that note, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust Television at this hour. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching.